Okay. Okay, so I just want to show you one other thing. My face camera still is not working, but that's not important for this part. All right, let me show you. Let's pretend these two beauties right here. Let me find two that aren't too pop speed up. All right, let's pretend we didn't have to do anything in the front and we fixed the back like this. Okay, so this is our back that we fixed. Okay, that's our final pattern. Okay, the first thing I want you to do, write all these steps down. Just double check and make sure your inseams match. Okay.
How do we, you mean like that they're the same length?
Yeah, so you would lay them on top of each other and walk them like this.
Okay.
Make sure they match. Make sure your side and the inseams match. That's the first step. Okay. The second step is after you're sure they match and you have all your adjustments, I want you to add just to the side seam 1.5 inches safety seam allowance.
Just
like
the side.
1.5 inch safety seam allowance.
So
On
we
the front,
so we add 1.5 inches, bringing the seam allowance up to 2 inches.
Yep.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is, let's pretend these are your finished patterns. There's your safety seam allowance. Safety seam allowance, 1.5 inch. Wait, after you cut
just
out,
on the outside.
just the side seam, just side seam. Okay, and so then after you have all your lines, right? These are all the lines. They're not neat, but you have all your lines on there. You have your full hip. You have your upper thigh. You have your vertical. Okay, you're going to cut out these paper pieces. You're going to cut out your fabric. On your fabric, what I want you to do is, and it's only on one, either the front or the back, it doesn't matter. Literally just measure 2 inches from the edge and draw a line down your side seam. And then sew on that line when you put them together. Does that make sense?
No, wait a minute. Say that again.
You're going to draw right on your muslin. So after you cut it out, so this is my finished pattern, right? I'm going to cut it out like this.
And this is on the tracing paper, not
this is
the original.
This is the pattern that you did all your adjustments on. You cut it out like this. And now you have your extra seam allowance, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we have our back. Just pretend these are my big pattern pieces. Here's my final answer. I mean, cutting it out will help you see your final shape too after you get rid of everything else. Okay, so here's our final pattern pieces. Okay, you're gonna, let me just get a piece left. Okay, so here is, I'm just gonna get a little piece of muslin here, hold on. Okay, so you're just gonna take your fabric, and you're gonna lay it out, double layer. And if it's wrinkly like this, what are you gonna do first?
Press it.
You're gonna press it. Because if you have a lot of wrinkles, that will add to your measurements.
Right.
So here, let's pretend this is perfectly ironed fabric. Okay, there are no wrinkles here. This is perfect.
Okay.
I'm gonna take my piece. Okay, so it's on the fabric. The easiest thing for me to do to transfer my lines is to literally mark them at the top and bottom and side to side like this, right? Wherever the lines are. Then you're going to cut it out. Like this. Okay, so now I have my perfect leg here. You know, then connect your lines. You know, and I would use a Sharpie marker. That's the easiest thing.
Mhm.
And you got your vertical line like this. So let's pretend those are all my lines, right? Do it to both legs. Okay. So here's our cutout pieces. All right.
Both front and back.
Yep, you're gonna cut both they're gonna look like this. Then after you do that, what I want you to do is just measure along your side seam, and you only have to do it on either the front or the back this step, because it's really hard to keep track of a 2-inch seam allowance. So I basically just want you to draw that in, okay?
Okay.
And then when you put it together with the front leg, just have the back leg be on top and sew that. That way you'll get an accurate 2-inch seam allowance. Does that make sense to everybody?
Maybe.
Yes. You just want a 2-inch seam allowance on the outside with the
Yep.
safety seam allowance.
Yes, because if we have to scoop down later, as you scoop down, you can see we're going to a more narrow part of the leg. So we may need to let it out.
Okay.
Okay, but we don't want to add any of this extra unless we need to. And then you don't have to draw the seam allowance on the front too, because you only see one side when you sew, right? So,
Yes.
you know, pretend this is your front. You're just going to lay them like this, and you're going to sew, you know, at 2 inches down your sides.
Okay.
Okay. This is your inseam is a 1/2 inch. That's just a standard 1/2 inch seam allowance. Your back crotch is a 1/2 inch. You know, and then for the front, if you want to, like I said, it might be easier for now if you just cut off that zipper seam allowance.
It's gone.
And this is 3/8.
So
That
is the crotch seam 3/8 of an inch all the way around?
The front is 3/8 of an inch.
How do you blend it into the 1/2 inch on the back?
It will make the back 1/8 of an inch longer, and that's okay.
Oh,
Front.
You'll ease that in that little bit. Because if you have to stretch the back onto the front a little bit, it helps smooth the back wrinkles. Does that make sense?
well, oh, yeah.
And that's the only 3/8 inch seam allowance?
Yep, just right here.
Okay,
1/2 inch is your inseam, and then you have your 2 inches because you added 1.5 inches on the sides. And then I just want to regroup for Claire. Here, I just remembered. If you want to make loose leg, I would just go wherever your full hip is, just straighten out your seams. You know, if you
Okay.
want to add a little bit more in there, you know, just do that in the front and the back.
Okay, so mostly on the side seam, and then you can add a little bit on the
Yeah.
inseam.
And then just double check and make sure that they're still the same length.
Okay.
There's not as much in the front to straighten out, actually.
Oh, okay.
So you might want to add a little bit to the inseam over here.
Okay.
But we're not adding the lower part of the leg yet.
No, I'm going to show you how to do that next week.
Ah,
Okay, so this is going to be our plan. You're going to do all of this, and you're going to put your muslin together. Now, when you put your muslin together, the waist edge is going to be huge, right? Because there's no darts.
right.
So just don't be super crazy about where your darts are or exactly what they are, but you want to try to fit the waist so it's not bagging out, you know what I mean?
Right.
So just reach around, sew some darts. We can fine tune the position of them and, you know, where they are later, you know, next week. Once you have your muslin sewn together, if you have significant issues, I want you to contact me. And I want you to, can you text me instead of email me? I don't want to miss anybody in spam. Does everybody have my phone number?
No.
Yes.
Oh, I don't.
Okay, I'm just gonna write it right here. Text me. That's my phone number, 860-997-2832. And say what your name is. And then I'll go find you, because I think I have everybody's email, and we'll schedule a time to get together and work on your pants. And hopefully I will have my Zoom figured out before that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, and there's no like pressure or rush. So once you get it together, if you want to text me pictures of how it looks, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Another thing that's really helpful, and nobody ever does it, is to tell me how the crotch feels. Like
Oh,
if
that
it
makes
feels,
sense.
like if it feels tight, or if it feels loose, or if it feels low, or if it feels like it's too high. Telling me how it feels is a super help, because a lot of times the fit is in the feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So
Isn't it?
text me your results and text me if you want to get together separately, and I will schedule that. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I go to my parents in the morning, and I usually get home, afternoon, so I can do most anytime Monday after I hike. I can do later Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, all day Wednesday night, Thursday afternoon, Thursday early evening. Friday, I have my FabFit Friday at 1 o'clock. Other than that, I can get together with you Friday. I can also get together with you anytime Saturday or Sunday before class. We have plenty of time.
And are you Eastern?
I am Eastern time.
So another question, if I add darts to the waistband, there's no way to get this pants on or off unless I sew in the zipper, correct?
Okay, so when you sew your muslin, in the front, just leave it open where the zipper would be.
Okay,
And then when you pin it, you're just going to overlap it 3/8 of an inch and pin it shut.
Yeah, it's like mark the seam allowance and then you know where to pin it.
Yeah.
can I add
Definitely
the zipper
open.
if it's easier for me to fit it? Do you mind if I add it?
No, if you want to add a zipper, you go right ahead. Just don't cut off the zipper seam allowance then.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. If you want to put in a zipper, I know that is easier for people. And like my jean muslins had zippers in them, my non-stretch jeans. So it is easier, if you want to put a zipper in, go ahead.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Jen,
Yes.
do you know when Julie going to post this video for us to see that we'll be able to retrieve it during the week, or is that not part of this?
Oh, no,
this
it's part of it, but I'm going to do it. So
Okay,
what I'm going
all
to do
right.
is when I get off, right, as soon as I get off, I'm going to upload them to my YouTube channel, and then I'm going to send her the unlisted link, so you only can see it if you have the link.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Remember, there'll be 2 parts because I had
Got
to
it.
start a second recording when I came back.
All good.
Perfect.
All right.
And
then-
Jen,
Yes.
what size of zipper do we use?
It really doesn't matter for this. I would measure the length of your zipper seam allowance and make it that long. Just use a nylon zipper.
In the notions, it says 5 to 7 inch band zipper. So if you really want to be technical.
Yes, 5 to 7 inches usually covers everybody.
Will the zipper go into the waistband?
No. But for now, I think people are just concerned with having a gap in the front. So like if you wanted to put in a zipper just to keep it shut and you don't want to pin it.
Well, that sounds like a trouble.
Well, Zane, I'm with you, Zane. I don't put zippers in until I'm wearing them, but if you want to put a zipper in, you can go right ahead and put a zipper.
Hey, Jen,
That's what staples are for.
yeah, I have a
Hey,
question
Yep.
for you.
Yep.
Are you able to call up our pictures again?
Yes.
You had been mentioning, this is Karen, you had been mentioning to someone else that if their knees and their thighs touched, that they should move that fabric over in the inseam. And you didn't mention it on mine, but my knees and my thighs do touch.
All right, let me look here.
So I was hoping you could just double check that and let me know if I need to move that.
All right, hold on 1 second. Okay, let me get that up here. Open. Oops. All right, I'm sorry, what was your name
I'm
again?
Karen Muse.
Let's look. All right, why, I don't know, I thought I was gonna have this super fast, slick computer today with my new hard drive. I'm feeling very sad. Karen. Here you are. Well, you don't have, I see what you're saying. I think in your instance, it may be that we are just going to take in the side seam. If you want to add, give yourself like an extra 1/4 inch along your inseam, you can.
Okay, but you don't think I need a lot there then?
Well, technically your knees and your inner thighs are touching, but you can also see space.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So you don't have a prominent inner thigh.
okay,
So I think if you wanted to just give yourself a little bit more room there, we can always cut it back off. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, okay,
But it's always good to double check. If you ever take a class with me and I say something that sounds funny, or if you want to double check me, I'm very happy for everyone to double check me because, stuff happens. And I miss stuff sometimes. So,
okay.
You're
So-
working with a lot of us too, so I'm sure we all tend to blend together at some point.
oh, I mean, I think my eyes were boggling too, because I went through and I double checked everybody this morning and there were a couple people where I'm like, wait a minute. And I had to refigure the math. So that's why I made a plan. Yes, Diane.
Quick question. The horizontal particular lines that we draw, the
Mhm.
crotch level is drawn as if the crotch seam has already been sewn, correct?
Exactly, because it'll be a 1/2 inch higher if you don't consider the seam allowances. But in the big scheme of things, it really does, that's not a crucial thing. Like if you want to
Okay.
if you want to do it right at the tip of the crotch, go ahead. But if you want
Okay.
the actual, it's it's below, it's at the seam allowance.
I want actual. Thank you.
Me too.
You guys
Jen,
have-
I think one question around our prep, and I think you mentioned this. So for the muslin that we're gonna make, we only do it to that knee line, or do you want us to extend and do full leg version?
No, I want to just do the first one at that level, just in case, because I try to waste as little amount of fabric as possible.
Okay.
Like if anything major happens, at least we didn't blow 3 yards of fabric. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yep. Thanks.
All right, did you guys enjoy class?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Well,
I learned a lot.
That's the
Great
most important
class.
thing to me. And I really want everybody to promise me they're not going to hesitate to text me or email me. If you email me and you don't hear back within a few hours, text me and say I sent you an email, or just email me pictures, because I literally was scrounging around. It was shocking the number of emails I got that didn't end up in my regular email folder. So feel free to text me. I'm very happy to hear from you. I want to hear from you often and as much as you need. So do not feel like you're bugging me, because I don't want anyone sitting there crying in their house because they don't know what to do and they can just
Yeah,
ask
okay.
me. So
I
no-
appreciate that because that's usually me trying to fit pants.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you spend more than 5 minutes trying to figure something out, just ask me. If we have to Zoom, and if we have to Zoom again, we will. So there's no, this is my heaven. I am like so excited. I got up this morning and I'm like, oh my God, I'm teaching. I'm so excited. So really,
Yay.
you're not bugging me.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I look forward to seeing all of your progress. No pressure, but just keep me posted and we will make plans to get together as needed.
Yeah.
All right. And
Bye,
I will
everyone.
send this link to Julie. I'm guessing she'll get it up there tomorrow morning or something.
So just for clarification, our homework is basically to sew up the first muslin, and if everything goes okay, we see you next week.
Yes, but if your muslin, and if you do your muslin and it looks terrible, do not start crying. Because a lot of times it's just a few simple things we have to adjust. That's why I want to give people the opportunity to meet with me separately if they feel like their muslin really needs a lot of work.
Sounds good.
All right, and then I can focus just on you and we can see what's going on.
Can
Okay.
you remind me when is the next class? I don't have it on my calendar for some reason.
It's the Sunday, the same time. So the 23rd from 3 to 5.
Okay,
Maybe if you guys don't mind, we can say maybe we'll do 3 to 6.
yes,
We can add an hour, right?
yes.
Yeah, that's
It's okay
perfect.
with you?
I don't want to rush people because, you know, depending on what happens, I want to make sure I have time to cover everything. And after the class next week, if you still need help, I'll Zoom with you more. So there's no pressure. This is a new format I'm trying. This is the shortest class time I've ever taught. So I tried to do some of it beforehand, but if we need to do more after, I'm very happy to, because when I'm fitting pants, I'm a happy girl. So, all right.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you. Bye, everyone.
I hope everybody has a
Thank
sparkly
you.
rest of their day.
Thank you, Jen.
Those are a great class.
I'm
Thank
leaving
you
to
so
you.
much.
Stay warm.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.